8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to a surprise edition of the Escape Podcast. Adam?
Yeah, that was metal, dude. I love that intro.
Big news. Matt Reeves dropped a 5-minute deleted scene with Batman, Robert Pattinson Batman, and the new Joker.
Yeah,
So,
Barry Cuono. That's not, I can't say
Koenig.
it. Koenig, yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. What'd you think, Nick? You go first.
I say first reaction. So it is, and it isn't. So it's a different Joker. It's a different Joker, but it's kind of in the same vein as Heath Ledger's Joker, where obviously he's physically scarred. He's he's been through some stuff. He's been he's definitely not not okay. You know, he's definitely but here's the thing. I know Matt Reeves said he's not quite the Joker yet.
Okay.
So I do know that was kind of one of the things was he's like, yeah, he's not quite the Joker yet, but he's right there. He's right there for sure.
Let's not stand on ceremony here, Mr. Mott.
Tell me what you thought of the fucking thing.
So it's sort of comic accurate. Hey Dan, what's going on? Got Danny Beals in the chat.
What's up, Dan?
So I like that he's he shows up during the first anniversary. So this is obviously they've met before, but I've seen it in more of the animated movies, and I think it was at the Long Halloween where he seems to be actually going to him for advice on the Riddler. So is that comic accurate, or is that more just animated movie?
It may or may not have happened in the Long Halloween. I don't remember him going to the Joker for the Long Halloween.
No, it wasn't the Joker, but was it Calendar Man? So it wasn't. It's not unheard of him going to Arkham to go pick up some insight as the villains, but so we're calling this year 2 Batman. So he met the Joker his first year. We're putting it in that ballpark.
Yeah, I guess we're putting it in that. But they've met before, so his first year.
So, but yeah, I like him. He's I'm wondering how fleshed out his Joker is going to be. Obviously, this is just the deleted scene. And I think this was clearly a planned scene that they shot, that they were going to drop this earlier. I think they knew this wasn't going to make it into the movie, but because you've seen the deleted scenes before where, the film's not processed properly and there's, audio mistakes or
this damn thing's perfect. Audio. Good point.
It is film ready to go. Not sure if they did that after the fact, but I think this was definitely a planned scene to drop after the movie. So
I agree with that, and I'll also add one more thing to that fire. It was you could say 2 hours and 55 minutes all you want. It's a 3 hour movie. So it's not like, 4 more minutes, would have made or break them. Here's the thing is everything that's said in this by the Joker really kind of ruins that reveal, that monologue that Paul Dano does, where he talks about how they're corrupt and he has to punish them, and this is personal and all this kind of stuff, and I was forgotten, and basically when the Joker says he wants to be a big shot and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he's a nobody and all that.
Right. So that's why I don't think this was ever planned to be in the movie. I think this is just a little bit of fan service.
No.
The movie did just cross 600 million. So they might be trying to put some more asses in seats.
Oh, sure.
Nothing wrong with that. I get it. I think it's kind of genius. But did you like it?
I did. And you bring up a good point. Like, yeah, they could have added this into the movie, but man, that would have completely changed the entire complexion of this movie if you added the Joker in with it. So that's why it just makes me believe that this was shot, obviously along the way, but it was meant to be revealed afterwards. So
yeah, I think this was all part of the marketing. I didn't really like it. I mean, it was okay. It was okay. I don't think that the Joker. I don't think in this iteration, especially this one, like after what we saw Paul Dano as the Riddler and all that kind of stuff, I don't think we need all the prosthetics, all that kind of stuff. Maybe those are burns. I heard that Matt Reeves described him as a person with this like condition or something like that he's stuck in a permanent smile. And it's not the acting I didn't like. It's not necessarily the writing that I didn't like. I just didn't like that it was there. And because part of me says, listen, we've said all we have to say about the Joker. You know what I mean? Joaquin Phoenix just did a movie in that came out in 2019. He won an Oscar for it. You really can't touch Heath Ledger. And even though I say that what's his name? Jared Leto's Joker looks really good on paper, but the execution is bad. Like, it's really good that Jared Leto Joker exists, because now you know what not to do. You know what I mean? Like, there's got to be someone who fucks it up.
Yeah, but I always just give credit because, especially being the guy after the stud, if you will,
Mhm.
The dude blew everybody away with that performance, and then you got to follow it up. It's like, well, I can't go that way. I got to try and find my own way with it. And he tried really hard. I think he tried a little too hard. But at the end of the day, it really didn't work. It didn't resonate with fans. It didn't resonate with his castmates, if you will,
Right.
even.
Right.
But anytime you're following up it's truly a legendary, once in a lifetime performance. So
Yeah, it's lightning in a bottle.
right.
So yeah, it's not so much the scene that I just don't think we really need to hear from the Joker right now. And I know that fans, are clamoring for it, but then there's a part of me, and I'm sorry, a lot of people think that that's the only villain Batman has.
Well,
The Joker, the Joker, Marsha.
yeah, and it's funny you say that because I saw a post earlier where guys like, he's got other villains, right?
Right. I mean, so, for a deleted scene, I'd have been happier if he kicked the crap out of some murderer and then you saw the scars all over him and maybe it was Victor's ass, or anybody but the Joker. This doesn't take away anything from the movie. I love it. I love this movie. If anything, though, like, it doesn't get me more hyped. And here's another thing too. It's not part of the movie. Deleted scenes just aren't part of the movie. You look back to X-Men 3 where they have Wolverine in a deleted scene reacting a certain way. He's not trying to act like Mr. Dad, to the younger ones. He's like, all right, let's go. What else? There's a lot of at the end of Iron Man, when he says, "I am Iron Man," you think you're the only superhero in the world. He then goes on to talk about Spider-Man and how the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, and talk about how he's in that world and stuff. But they had to cut that out because of licensing rights and stuff at the time. But Kevin Feige had this plan to bring Spider-Man in, blah 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 blah, and then you know what happened after that. You know history. So
Right.
just because this exists doesn't mean it's canon. Doesn't mean it's part of the movie. You could cast somebody else. He could come in with some smooth skin, which I'd like to see, and all that kind of stuff. But um, yeah, that's where I stand on this one. I was underwhelmed.
That's fine because, like I said, that this, like I said, he could come back and he might even look different. Happens all the
Right,
time.
right, because
Same,
yeah,
they did the same thing with Carnage. Where he had a completely different hairstyle at the end of the first Venom, and then he comes back and it's like, okay, I know it's just a hairstyle, but things
right.
change
It's
as
a
productions go
hairstyle.
on. So,
It's a hairstyle that didn't work for anyone who was like, "What the fuck was that?"
well, and that's I think hopefully, this is what used to happen is the fans went, you know, and now the directors and producers go, we're like, come on now.
Yeah,
So, but it's definitely I like I said, I don't like, hey, let's make the Joker so grotesque that that
yeah,
I don't understand that because um like I said, I think Heath Ledger's Joker was about as dark and as twisted as the Joker frankly needs to be. We don't really need to get more twisted and darker. Um, even though I know this is a very dark Batman, but like I said, if they skip the Joker altogether in the next movie, I'd be perfectly okay with that.
I would too. Give me Mr. Freeze, man. That's what they're talking about anyway.
Yeah, Danny wants to see Tut. I'd love to see Tut. I want to see Mr. Freeze. I'd
Yeah,
love to see
Danny.
I'd love to see a proper Mr. Freeze.
He'll be called Maxi Zeus. He won't be called King Tut, but Maxi Zeus is King Tut. They couldn't use the name King Tut. They had to make up a new name for the same character because 20th Century Fox, any character that 20th Century Fox invented for the Batman TV show of the 1960s, they owned the rights to. So DC can't run around saying, "Here's King Tut." Can't do that because 20th Century Fox owns it. But they can say, "Here's Maxi Zeus." So,
Oh, Danny, it's fine. You're saying I know it's not the most popular character, but I think
not with me. I love King Tut.
I think a lot of people are like, he's got more than three rogues. He literally they call it the rogues gallery for a reason. You've got more than Joker, you've got more than Riddler, you've got more than Penguin.
And
The
Catwoman.
Catwoman. I say Catwoman, she flip flops. Whatever you want to say. But no, he has an incredibly diverse, or even I know they introduced a Scarecrow, but between the Batman Begins and the video games, I'm kind of done with the Scarecrow. I'd
Me
like to
too.
see I'd like to see something different.
Yeah.
Because Scarecrow, once again, you can only do so much with that character. You can only make him so, just insane looking. But I'd really, really like to see them pick on some other. Well, what's the one guy? Is it the doll maker? Let's bring
Oh
something.
yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that's a little bit more animated series, but I mean, let's dive into it. You haven't even scratched the top of the surface with his
No.
rogues.
I mean, you give Killer Croc another whirl. You didn't really give him a fair whirl in Suicide Squad.
Right.
Well, I mean, Killer Croc would be a good. The way they utilized Penguin would be a good way to utilize Killer Croc. Not
Yeah.
necessarily the main antagonist, but
Well, that's the thing. The Joker should be a guy who it and not that he's the same, but he should be almost like the Thanos. You should build up to Joker. You can't. It shouldn't just be like bam, Joker. Like
right.
that. He's got so many. There's so many in the DC universe. There's so many villains in DC. Have him build up a couple. Have him run into a couple guys, and
Did we lose you, Nick? think we might have lost
Okay.
Nick here, or lost the whole show.
There we go.
There we go. Hey.
Hey. So, but yeah, so that's one of the things is I'd really like to see, instead of Joker being out the gate with the Joker, let's build up to the Joker.
How about the
Possibly?
Mad Hatter?
Mad Hat literally could go anywhere with it. I'd be happy.
Did you ever see Batman Puppet Master? It was a like 10 or 14, between 10 and 14-minute fan movie, and it was the direct sequel to The Dark Knight. And of course, they didn't have Christian Bale in it, but everything looked great.
Right.
And you know who they used? They used Scarface.
Yeah.
The puppet.
Yeah.
Man, that was fucking cool. Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah. I think I've said my piece. I think I like Barry. I like Barry's take on the Joker. But I at what point do we get Jokered out? I'm kind of there.
I am there.
I'm very intrigued to actually see more of the Riddler. I'm very excited for Paul Dano's comic. I'm very excited about that. That's supposed to be coming out, I believe, in October. They said. But I'd like to explore Paul, that Riddler a little bit more. But it is what it is. We're not Warner Media. We don't get to make choices for anything. So, but as a fan, speaking as fans, because that's what we do, I think people want to see something a little bit different, and different doesn't mean bad. It's just I just hate going for the arch nemesis every single time. It's like, how many times can you kill Bruce Wayne's parents? How many times can you kill Uncle Ben? I don't know. Well, we haven't tried killing him this way, so whatever. I'm sick of it. It becomes cliche, it becomes a trope, and I don't like it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Like I said though, and I agree with you. I don't think that this was ever intended to be in the movie. I think that this was shot very, very much not even on the fly. I think this was totally planned.
I'll tell you what. I guarantee you what it was. It was in case this happened, the movie was successful, or in case it bombed opening weekend, and they're like, well, we got this in our back pocket to try and bring it out a little bit more. So either way, I believe is completely not, I don't want to say the stage, but it was planned for sure.
Yeah, I think so. It smells very planned. Like you said, it was unfinished. I mean, it was completely finished. I mean, it looked good.
Right.
So.
Well, especially because most deleted scenes are 15 seconds to maybe a minute and a half. That was a 5-minute dialogue.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, that's it. That's all I got to say about that. You said you wanted to touch on some of the articles that hit today.
All right. So Danny said the problem is too many Batman fans who really aren't Batman fans, so they pander to the not so fans. And there's always going to be an element of that, Danny. I completely agree, where you're always reaching out to the normies on some level. So there's always going to be an element of that because, nerds, are one of the few fan bases or group of people that actually speak with their wallet. A lot of we do. It just
true.
The whole thing with Todd McFarlane. People are giving Todd McFarlane a bunch of crap over the comments he was saying in the Shardman's Prime video, but he's also the same guy who sold the most action figures in North America last year.
Yeah.
So he knows what he's talking about. And once again, you can say, hey, I'd like this character and this character, but Todd will say, unless it's cool and I can't make money off it, sorry, you're going to have to do something else. So, but
I'm totally blown. My mind is.
Oh.
I'm blown away. I'm totally blown away that they're doing a Wally West figure. I really am.
Yes. And we were talking about it earlier. I'm not the biggest Flash fan, but golly, his Flash line that's coming out is freaking stellar. The Flash is the Flash. They came out with a Barry from the CW show. They came out with the animated one. They came out with the Justice League movie one. But the Wally West one, that's the comic accurate Wally West. That thing is a stellar figure. Let's pull it up. So because I want you guys to see what I'm talking about.
I remember being in the 4th grade and getting yelled at for bringing a Flash comic book to school. Wally West was that Flash.
So here we go. And in 1 second, I'll show you guys. There we go. So
Man,
that's the Wally West. I mean, obviously it's an action pose, but solid freaking figure. And then let's see if I can find his. And that's the new Wonder Woman. That's a pre-order. Is that the metal?
yeah, like she actually had a suit like that. Like she was actually
I'm sorry,
gold.
Yeah, Anti-Crisis Wonder Woman is coming soon. So
Anti-Crisis.
that's what it says.
Okay, is that what that is? Okay,
that's what I'm going. I'm just reading the caption, and then this is the other one, the DC Rebirth Godspeed. That's just a cool freaking figure, man.
It is. Awesome.
I do not care who you are. That's a good looking figure.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
But then even this one, the CW one, solid freaking figure. Like I said, I just wish I like the Flash enough.
You think about that show and the thing about Arrow. I just put them down when they got bad, and I didn't have to not like them anymore. I was like, okay, well, as far as I'm concerned, my show got canceled.
Right. Well, my dog died, so we're just gonna let her go.
Tippy. I put Tippy's body on the counter and got a new fucking dog that looked just like Tippy.
Yeah, so
George Carlin.
There's that.
Wow.
Production shot of the Godspeed. So. Ooh, speaking of Dark Redeemer, my Dark Redeemer is on the way. Even though my good friend Adam here was able to grab one for me, but I didn't cancel my pre-order in time.
Hey, go back
even the Reverse Flash looks good. Is that's Injustice 2? Injustice 2.
Yeah.
Is there another Reverse Flash?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You wanted me to go back up for what?
I wanted to take a look at Eartha Kitt again as Catwoman. She is a badass figure.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's a good looking figure there.
Huh. Anyway, I just thought about some custom stuff I could do with it. Yeah, I have that Reverse Flash. I haven't taken them out of the package yet. I'm trying to figure out what to do with them.
Is that the only Reverse Flash they have?
No, I've got the one you're talking about. The one that I would keep going because it's a little bit earlier. I finally got that Batgirl. Tim Drake should be coming around soon.
Did you see on the McFarlane page the guy who did a custom version of the Demon? Oh my gosh!
A while ago, yeah.
It was just the other day. One of the guys in there, I was like, that is freaking gorgeous. He took the all these little flourishes here and he did them red like that, and made all these little flourishes and all that red and all these cool, and then repainted the face. It's just gorgeous. So what are we looking for again? Any more Flash figures, I guess? But
the Reverse Flash.
Reverse Flash, that's right.
Should be coming up on it any minute now.
There's the animated series one.
Superboy Prime. I got him out of the package, but I don't have.
That's the Flash. Hoppers, even that's still a good figure. That's still a
yeah. Which Hot Pursuit Flash? So is that Barry Allen?
The Flash Hot Pursuit is starting to hit stores. That doesn't really say, but
yeah, I wish I wouldn't have passed on him.
I'm sure you can find it somewhere. There we go.
There it is. Yeah.
Oh
This
yeah,
guy,
with the red clear. It's nice.
I'll never. At the end of Flash season 1, man, did you watch that whole season or no?
Flash season 1, yeah.
When
Yeah. The
when
I think the first 3 seasons of the Flash I watched, I might have missed out on season 3, but once they just start going faster and faster, I'm like, ah,
well, yeah, and I know you know what we were talking a little bit about it the other day. They tried to move on from a different, not use a speedster. They used, excuse me, the Thinker DeVoe, and I just kind of lost touch with the show after that because it was what, um, it was Zoom in the second season, and then it was Savitar in the third season, and then yeah, DeVoe in the fourth, and I was gone after that. But anyway, long
well,
story short,
well,
go
then
ahead.
Barry just kept changing the timeline, and I was like, all right. When there's memes about the storyline about your show, I think it's time to
Well, Barry fucked with the timeline again.
right.
Yeah. So and then Arrow just totally. I mean, they jumped like 9 sharks, 9 of them, and they didn't have to. The show was doing fine. They,
We were talking, it was a while ago. We were talking about. I was like, do we have to go back to the freaking island again? You're like, they went back to the island the entire show, and I'm like, I'm glad I bailed out.
not the entire show. You know what they did that was terrible? This one was awful. This would have made you say, "All right, maybe the island wasn't so bad." So for 5 years, he was stranded on the island, right? So at the end of the 5th season, they showed him come home from the island, like in the first episode.
Right.
After that, however, his like new gang of folks, like that watchdog guy who wear the hockey mask and all that stuff, they would flash back to their origins and
Right.
their lives, and that was just blah. And I
That
just that show did not give Black Canary a fair treatment at all.
no.
They got
But it was just like, oh, you scream, the end, and now you die, and we brought you back, and we kill you.
well, they didn't even bring Laurel back. Laurel is the true uh, Black Canary, like for our universe and stuff. They just killed her off and then brought her back as a bad guy from another Earth 2. And then her sister became White Canary, which that didn't bother me. So, anyways, hopefully they put somebody on it and give Journey Smollett's like, I don't know, something better to do than what they did in that movie. Like, it wasn't her fault, and she wasn't even bad in it. She wasn't. I don't
No,
think.
she was really good. I'll give her that. And the only thing that I didn't like about her is that she was related to her brother, Jesse Smollett.
Oh well, yeah,
Once again, not your fault, but
yeah, yeah, definitely.
So all right, so let's go into some comic news. So DC just murdered a major Green Lantern, and I know you're not sad about this. So
Well, I mean, I'm not. I mean, okay. How do you feel about it? You can change my tune. Change my tune on fucking Obi-Wan.
no, I don't want to change your tune. I just don't like Tom King.
Oh, okay.
So Guy Gardner and Major Green Lantern in the DC universe. I'm sorry, this is from CBR. A Major Green Lantern in the DC universe met a brutal end, and not even in his own series. So he's in a series called The Human Target, where he was. So basically, I was reading on down in the comics, they had a whole thing where they actually went through the entire comic if you wanted to go through it. But Guy Gardner is in a comic where one of the doubles of Lex Luthor gets poisoned, but he's got 12 days to live. So he basically has to go find his own murderer. And so I thought it sounds intriguing. And then, so I might check it out. I mean, we'll see. But so in the process of trying to find his own murderer, he ends up getting a little too close to Ice, which is apparently Guy Gardner's girlfriend. And so there's this whole side story where Guy Gardner is going total toxic 80s boyfriend, where he's just like, hey, baby, you stay away from my girl thing. And it ends up resulting where Ice gets sick of it and uh, basically it freezes him. And then the dude punches Guy Gardner in the face and makes his head explode. So,
Was this a double of Lex Luthor that did this?
yes. So,
Go
so the,
Lex.
yeah, so the guy who was poisoned, trying to find his killer, but also, there's a love side story. Guy's only got 12 days to live. Why not go for it, right?
That doesn't add up, right?
No, and that's the thing. And I think that's part of the thing is like, if you just want to kill Guy Gardner, just kill Guy Gardner. Nobody likes him that much anyway, so no one's really shedding a tear, unless you like Guy Gardner. Good for you, but
I'm
I'm
sure
not
he's
a
got
big
a fan base.
Yeah, I say if he's been around this long, he's got to have a fan base. So I'm not the biggest Green Lantern guy, and I'm not the biggest Tom King guy, and that's the thing too. So if you don't know, I was out of comic books for like 20 years. I was keeping up here and there, but overall, when I got back into comics, I didn't know who was who still. I just know that Jim Lee was running DC, and I was trying to find out, well, who's the guy now, and I kept hearing Tom King, this guy, this guy, this guy, but also I more want to know, like, why is so much political crap in my comics, and the guy that kept coming back and coming up was Tom King. So
Yeah, in the New 52, Guy Gardner was a Red Lantern.
right. So well, for anyone who doesn't know, tell them what a Red Lantern is.
So the Green Lanterns are will and overcoming, fear. Yellow Lanterns are about instilling fear.
Oh, they have the panels down here.
And the Orange Lantern, because there's only one Orange Lantern, it's all about greed and selfishness. So there can only be one Lantern because he has to have all the power to himself. That's what that was? Okay.
Ice froze him, and then the dude punched him in the face, and his head exploded.
Wow.
And that kind of, yeah.
All right, so I just told you guys that Green Lanterns run on, will and all of that kind of stuff. He would have gotten out of this. He wouldn't even have been frozen that long. I don't think I don't think this would have worked. Anyways, Red Lanterns are a rage. That's what Red Lanterns are. They're blood rage. And when the ring first chooses you, you flip out and you start killing. You're a killing machine. And the other Red Lanterns have to come, take you down, and throw you into a blood pool. A pool of like this blood. Almost like a reverse Lazarus pit. It calms you down. But then you're a Red Lantern forever. You can't take the ring off. Supergirl was the only person that ever took the Red Lantern ring off and survived.
But also, isn't the DC or the Green Lantern show, isn't it supposed to revolve around Guy Gardner?
Yeah.
The one that's coming up to HBO Max?
Yep.
I'm so excited about that.
Jon Stewart gets no love.
Well, and that's the other thing. Did you see that they released that
Yes.
the Snyderverse pick of him?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Didn't they release like a undone scene, or just a pic?
I didn't see the scene. I just saw the image. Okay. It looked great. Everybody's like, damn, man.
Yep.
So
that's something. So are they gonna keep the Snyderverse around then, or something?
Well, and that's one of the things I wanted to check out before I completely forgot. I knew there was something that was that I wanted to talk about, and that was one of the things where that's kind of the rumor with everything that's going on, all the changes going on over at Warner Brothers and everything. There might be a chance for a resurrection of the Snyderverse. So,
does anybody mind if I hum a tune?
We've got time.
Do, 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 do. All right. That's all I got to say. And I don't mean that as in bring Superman back. I just mean that is a song of triumph.
Sorry, I'm trying to find that Green Lantern shot. I don't see it. So, but yeah, it was yeah, that definitely made the rounds. That was that gave the. I know I follow one of the guys that's all about the Snyderverse on Instagram, and he's very passionate about that. So he was definitely excited that it still might be a thing. So
Yeah. I'd like to see a little, just not a lot. I just want my beak wet, wet my beak a little bit on some grounded Snyderverse where like the threat isn't that bad, and you just get to see the characters kind of be cool and do cool things, and then you can raise the threat level all you want.
right. So all right, and then so finally he was sort of teased in the very first Guardians of the Galaxy, but it looks like they are finally doing something with Nova.
Wow.
Yeah, so word has come in.
I'm as excited as I was for Adam Warlock.
Right?
Whee!
I mean, who
It's
doesn't?
not Fiona Apple. If it ain't Fiona Apple, I could give a rat's ass.
Wow, that you went deep in the archives for that one.
Yes, I did. Officer Bar Brady.
So, word has come in from Deadline that Marvel Studios has tapped Moon Knight writer Sabir Pirzada to tackle a Nova project. Writer Justin Kroll has clarified on Twitter that Nova will likely only be made available to people on the Disney Plus subscription, although it is unclear if it's being envisioned as a movie or limited series for Mouse House's streaming platform. So, along with having co-written 3 of Moon Knight's episodes, Pirzada also worked on Person of Interest and Roswell, New Mexico. So, no, obviously no casting news, but I would love to see them bring back John C. Reilly just because. So,
John C. Reilly. Oh yeah. He wasn't in those. He wasn't in Marvel. Yeah, he was. You're right. Hey, all I can say is bubbles eventually pop.
right.
Yeah, you can only expand so much. I mean,
Well, that's it's like, hey, we're gonna do this character, but we're just gonna do it on Disney Plus. Is that like the new like, hey, we love you, but not that much?
I don't know. I just don't know. Marvel is fine, and I like it. I have fun when I go see it. I just don't. There's no. Well, that's not true. Doctor Strange is coming, and I can't wait to see that. I really like Doctor Strange. So
I very much enjoyed the first Doctor Strange, and I'm excited. But
and
I'm not the
Wanda's
I'm
going
not.
to be in it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm not the biggest fan of the way that the Marvel Phase 4 is going. So it unfortunately just I can't get too excited about anything anymore between Marvel and Disney and Star Wars because they hate me. And so I just have to go in with like tempered interest. I have to be like, I'm excited, but not that I can't go too high with it. So
I understand. I understand. I can just be excited because it's just I'm not in love with Marvel. You know what I mean?
well, and that's the thing. As long as you're going, as I always say, I always joke I go in low, but yeah, just have tempered expectations.
Just go to see a good movie.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I was really frustrated because this is it Midnight's Edge. Midnight's Edge, who's a pretty big, YouTuber. He put out a whole video as to how the Batman's woke because of the line Catwoman said, like near the end of the movie, about these white men in their white privilege, and I'm like, if you're gonna let one line take you out of a movie and let it ruin that for you, man, you gotta buckle up your chin strap, because if that's what it takes to get you out of such a good movie as that was, I'm because it's like anything where anybody who lived through the 90s and the girl power movement, and this character, people act like this is the first time there's been a big wave of, characters being gay or anything. Be like, oh, you didn't live through the 90s, did you? Because
Yeah.
every character and their uncle were gay and so, something, and everybody acts like this is new. And I'm like, this isn't new at all. It's maybe ratcheted up a couple different notches, but I'm just, it's expected today. There's always, it's Hollywood in 2022. There's going to be a bit of message in every single thing that you do, and you know what you got to do? You just got to let it go.
Well said, Nick.
Danny says, "I'm still mad about the Punisher logo." Same, but you know what they're going to do? They're going to change it back. So it's going to get changed. They have to, because that thing looks stupid.
Yeah, you showed it to me once, and I was like, mm-mm.
No,
I don't even remember what it looks like.
They took away his guns and they gave him swords, and it's like,
wait, in what how they're going to try to? Oh, in the comics.
Yeah, because the guy's a nut job.
Look, the comics aren't the comics anymore, if you ask me.
No one. I think, especially in 2022, no one's going to the comics to read the Punisher anymore. I mean, no. and not to mention, comic sales in general are down. But a lot of people are reading back issues. So
yep. That's the good stuff.
Yeah, I said well, and here's the funny part. I said, oh, I kind of stopped in the late 90s, early 2000s. You know what the trend in comics is? Going back to the 90s.
They were great. They were great.
And that just it's ridiculous. It's not ridiculous, but like I said, nerds are, especially comic collectors, are the people who they speak with their wallet a lot. Because guess who's not buying your damn comics? The activist people that you're trying to go after. Why can't I find this logo?
I hope that, well, one, I want to live another 40 years, but two, I hope this is sort of like the 50s and early 60s right now, and then in the next 10 to 15 years, we're going to be back to like having some fucking brains.
It's going to be like the 80s all over again.
I hope so.
The hippies have their time, and then yeah, and then we bring on capitalism.
Yeah, bring on capital. Greed is
bring
good.
bring on the greed.
Yeah, minus the Bernie Madoff.
Well, hey, if you're dumb enough to, what was the book I was reading? I wasn't reading. I don't read books very much. I was listening to Glenn. Damn it! Hold on, look it up. You should go read Audible if you're not a big fan of reading books like I am.
Right.
Talking to Strangers, Malcolm Gladwell. It's pretty interesting. He gets into a ton of subjects, but one of them was the Bernie Madoff thing, and he had audio from one of the regulation guys who like 10 years before he got busted was going, hey, this guy's not on, this guy is completely full of it right now. I finally found that logo for it, so I'll show you. There you go. So they took away his gun, changed that, and gave him swords. So
that's right. Oh my God, he's on his way to the tool room. That's the gay bar in Wayne's World 2. He's on his way to the tool room or whatever.
Yep. So
holy shit.
That
looks terrible.
It looks like garbage.
It looks terrible. Hey Frank, how you doing? Arr, and I be fine. Arr, and they be killing me family. So I made him walk the plank with my sword.
Yeah. And it says his new catchphrase is him slapping at him, saying, "You stop that, you big mean man, you."
Yeah, exactly. You get in his car and like the radio already starts because it was left on. It's like, it's fun to stay at the YMCA.
Well, right said Fred for you there too.
I'm too sexy for my old shirt. Too sexy for my old shirt.
For my good logo that everybody likes.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's do a quick scan through here of anything. So,
New York and Japan.
Adam, I have news for you. So, Moon Knight director says there will not be a second season for WandaVision.
Oh yeah, that's right. I heard that today too. Well, there shouldn't be.
Well, no, she should be arrested.
Well, come on, man. She didn't mean to do it. She was doing it. She's a superhero. But anyway, long story short.
Okay, well, 1 second. If I gave you this scenario, hey, this superpowered being took over a small town, what does that sound like to you?
You know me, Nick, and if you don't, I'm going to have to.
I know you.
I'm just going to have to reiterate this. Pretty covers a lot for me. Pretty covers a lot.
I like the pretty things, and they can do whatever they want.
Exactly. Well, I can think of a pretty person right now. I think should be, pardoned of her crimes. But hey, what do I know? Anyway, I'm not going to bring it up because I don't want to, kick over the worms. It's my opinion. But so, yeah, I mean, she's like the ultimate. She working with chaos magic now. She's flushed out completely as the Scarlet Witch. So, to do a WandaVision season 2, one, what's her vision? Because the show was a play on words, not just vision, but she was a vision that she wanted to live. They did that on purpose. But no, it was a like a chapter in the Marvels,
Right.
Phase 4. No, they shouldn't.
Yep. So, and then I guess that director was given crap to Wonder Woman 84. So who's the director here? So
Patty Jenkins.
No, not that director. I'm sorry, the director for Moon Knight. Moon Knight director Mohammed Diab. So I guess he was given flack to the Egyptian scenes in Wonder Woman 1984. If you want to make fun of Wonder Woman 1984, you're welcome to it. But also he was picking on Black Adam because they did not cast an Egyptian actor as Black Adam. I'm like, okay, where he's from is fictional, so it's okay.
You know what? No, I agree with this director. They should have cast a real Kryptonian to play Kal-El.
Exactly.
What a fucking idiot. What a fucking idiot.
I don't see why you shouldn't cast just, superpowered beings as for all superhero roles.
You should change the title of this spur of the moment podcast to Adam Says the Director, whatever his name is, Mohammed
Diab.
Adam says he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, so hold on, I'll pull this up real quick so we'll see exactly what he's saying. I don't want to misquote him. All right, so Moon Knight director Mohammed Diab slams Black Adam for casting non-Egyptians. If it wasn't enough that Black Adam was delayed again until October, the film is catching flack from folks working for Marvel for lacking representation in its cast. Because, The Rock by himself isn't diverse enough. The guy is black and, Pacific Islander. So
yeah, I mean... And really, to tell you the truth, he probably has more pull than that fucking idiot does.
Oh, 100%. It's funny, Danny, we were talking about this earlier. I'm actually very much sick of The Rock right now because he's in so much stuff. So
yeah,
I don't mind The Rock. I just wish if he were in something, make it good. He's in a lot of very mediocre to crappy things. I'm just like, if you're in, just make your stuff better. Anyway, so
You know what else about The Rock though? Like, and this isn't a bad thing. It's just one of those, damn, I mean, this guy just can't lose. Anything he does, he wins. You know what I mean?
right.
And I'm glad. I don't want to see anybody suffer or anything like that. But on top of all of that, he's a really nice guy. He comes off like a really nice guy.
Right. Well, and have you ever watched his TV show?
No.
So the premise is kind of like he's running for president, and this is all like, doing going into his past, and he's describing his childhood and growing up and all that. I don't think I very much think that man has political aspirations.
I'm sure he does. Yeah.
All right. So despite the fact that the film's lead is, and he said, it's funny, he says in the very next line, despite the fact that the film's lead is black and Samoan, its Hawkman is a person of color, its Cyclone is non-binary, and the principal cast is rounded out by Persian Sarah Shahi and Tanzanian Marwan Kanzari. That isn't enough for one person. That someone is Mohammed Diab, director of Disney's Plus's Moon Knight. The Egyptian-born filmmaker called out the production and Warner Brothers for not taking full advantage and opportunity to represent people from his region of origin. So basically, you didn't get people from my town or country, therefore I'm just going to spout off because now I've got a platform because I'm doing this show. So
I am now going to give you guys the information of what's to come in the future. Picture it, 2 to 3 weeks from now. So, Adam, what did you think of the latest episode of Moon Knight? I don't watch Moon Knight, Nick, because it was directed by a fucking idiot.
Because it's directed by an asshat who, guess what? If I were cast in an Egyptian, let's just say Egypt had a big film scene and I was directing the thing, I wouldn't say, you know what you guys need? More American actors in your Egyptian films. So no one else gets to say that. It only goes one way. So, but I'll get to his quote. So what really annoyed Diab, he stated in Phil Fan? That doesn't sound right. Phil Fan interview transcribed by Direct was it didn't set Black Adam in Egypt, which he views as an excuse to avoid casting people from there because it never mind. I was really annoyed with DC when they set Black Adam in a fictional Middle Eastern country as an excuse to cast non-Egyptians when it was obviously meant to be in Egypt. You don't even know what freaking universe you're working for. DC always uses alternate freaking, not always, but it usually makes up city names for big cities like Gotham, like Central City, Metropolis,
Star City.
Yeah, it's that they acknowledge the conduct setting, the conduct. So that's the name of the city. He did acknowledge the conduct setting is comic book canon. It got one of the few times they actually stick to canon. Representation opportunities shouldn't be wasted. Shut up.
You know what? I'm back. I gotta open up a Twitter right now.
Oh no.
Okay. No, I'm kidding. Come on, people, somebody cancel this fucking guy. That's what you guys like to do, don't you?
Well, no, he's like talking about representation and diversity, so he's probably
stepping out against The Rock. He is our savior.
Well, they literally went through the DC checked damn near every box on the way, and he still went and go like, no, you guys didn't get enough Middle Eastern or specifically Egyptians. Like, okay.
I wish I had a hoodie.
And it says, I say The Rock's cousin Roman Reigns should be Black Adam. Has Roman Reigns been in anything like acting wise? So I know who the Roman Danny. You're the well. I say Danny is on. He has his own YouTube channel. The MIW. Is it Michigan Independent Wrestling, and the Wrestling Rage page. Up to you guys. You guys just got 1,000 subscribers. Congrats to you guys. But
guys,
So they do a lot of wrestling things. So Danny knows all the wrestlers. I know who Roman Reigns is. I just don't know. You know, I haven't followed his career. So, but I know he was very popular and he still is popular. But I just don't know if he's made the move to acting yet. So
You know what I always hated about those Nightmare on Elm Street movies?
besides Freddy,
They never cast a real burn victim to play Freddy.
well, that was one of the things too. Where it was a comedian was saying people were upset with Bryan Cranston because he played a quadriplegic person because he's not quadriplegic. It's like, oh, for F's sakes, guys,
Yeah,
are we doing that? We're doing this,
exactly. For the record, I love Nightmare on Elm Street movies,
right?
except for the fifth one. It's a piece of shit.
Yeah. So,
Super
but
Freddy.
is this guy's best friend Kevin Smith? Probably, Danny.
Yeah, I'm starting to not like this guy. Not like Kevin Smith a little bit more and more as I go.
So, but all right, let's see what else we got here. But yeah, I saw that article pop up, so I wanted to look into it, and it's just like, oh, this is why do they wait until like their show's about to premiere and then they start opening their mouth saying stupid things? I don't understand. I don't get it. So, another thing that people are talking about today, Amazon appears to have mass deleted over 22,000 comments from the Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power trailer. So, if you know anything about Amazon's upcoming Lord of the Rings show, it is not once again, we're talking about canon. It's not following necessarily the canon of J.R. Tolkien's writings. So a lot of fans are in an uproar over it. They've been making their voices heard in the comment section. Apparently, they decided to delete 22,000 comments from their video. So that sounds like a fair way to do it. You know what? We don't like what you're saying. We're just gonna delete you guys. So Amazon appears to have deleted 22,000 comments from the trailer. YouTuber Sparrow reports Prime appears to have deleted over 22,000 comments from their trailer. In a recent upload, Sparrow shares evidence that Prime deleted the comments from the trailer. Shortly into the video, he shares a screenshot revealing that had over 82,000 comments. He details the video and screenshot about a week ago in the trailer had over 300,000 less views as it did when he recorded this new video. So it just seems like YouTube is doing what YouTube does. If they don't like what you're saying, they'll delete you. So please don't delete us, YouTube.
Yeah, well, I kind of looked for other places to go anyway, so fuck you guys. You're not the only show in town.
Right. So, but all right, Adam. Do we got anything else to talk about tonight?
Just wanted on the record that the director of Moon Knight's a fucking idiot. And now my partner here, unless he completely agrees with me, is going to have to fucking talk me off the ledge and have me watch that show that I've been dying to watch because I love Moon Knight. But
well, that's the thing. Here's the thing. So there's one side of the aisle that likes to cancel people, but there's another side, or usually there's multiple sides to the same story here. So you have to be able to separate the art from the artist. So I'm going to give it a shot, but I'm just going to ignore everything that comes out of the director's mouth. So
you know what, man, you're totally right. But as we go forward, like there's just this part of me that says, "All right, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts," like in '89 Batman. And I just want to let's fight fire with fire. Let's cancel this asshole. You know what I mean? And it's just dropping down to their level.
Yeah, I don't like I know there's always fighting fire with fire, but at the same time, it's like I don't like people being canceled because I want, and getting a little more serious, I want all options, all opinions to be shared, because what you do then is you take the good ones and you put them over here, and then you take the bad ones and you throw them in the garbage. And then you realize who's smart and who's an idiot.
Mhm.
And that's how you move forward. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's how you move forward. All right.
but anyway, as a moving forward,
I'll do it
think
for the
we'll call it
show.
a night. I say once again for the show.
For the show. For the
Same
show.
reason to go see Love and Thunder for the show.
Whew, for the show. Yeah, man. Yeah, we can call it a night. It was great jumping on like this. To just to bring it full circle. It was cool to see more of the Batman today.
Well, you're 100% right. It's like, oh, I forgot how good that was.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot how damn good that was. It's like, oh, he's visiting people at the prison. Yeah. And then when he says something, why is he writing me or something like that? It's like that was in the trailer and not in the movie. That voiceover. So yeah, there was things to be excited for. But yeah, much love to you guys for watching tonight. Danny, thank you for joining us on chat. And
We'll see you next time.
yeah.
Thanks, guys. Peace out. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. On Facebook, we are at The Escape Podcast. And on Instagram, we are _escape_podcast. So also check out, we set up our first guest on April 12th. Let me make sure, because I know we have our friends, the Night of Chihuahuas. They have a comic book, and you should go check them out. So let me pull it up real quick, because I want to give these guys some love, because they're like, hey, you want to review our comic? I was like, yeah. So
That looks great.
I'm very excited. These guys are got a comic that's a lot of fun. So go check them out. They have their second issue coming out. You can go and pull up so you can go to thenightofthechihuahuas.com, all one word, and purchase their first issue. It's a fun book. So yeah, so I'm excited to have these guys on. It's going to be a lot of fun. I want to talk about just kind of the indie market of comics and just kind of the whole process, what it takes to actually make a comic in today's day and age, where I know anytime it's tough to go independent, but just, the struggles that, that go along with that. Because back in the day, I thought I wanted to be a comic book artist. I realized I didn't have the chops for it, but I'd really like to see on the ground level what it really takes to put together books. So, and without having the help of Marvel or DC or Image behind you. So can't wait to talk to those guys. That will be on April the 12th. So very excited.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited to read the comic this weekend.
Yeah, I got to get it to Adam. I've checked it out. It's a really fun book, guys. Go check it out. And we will also we'll do the review and also be talking to the guys in a couple of weeks. So very excited.
I'll see you in person tomorrow, Nick.
Yep. So, all right, guys. So
We
not
should
sure if
jump on anyway.
I say could jump on tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see what news comes in. Or
That's right.
We might have to stick to our usual night of Tuesday. So, but guys, thanks so much for all the support. Danny, once again, thanks for hopping on. I'll probably have coffee with you tomorrow. See you guys. Love you. Goodbye, America.